It's Josh here, and on today's video, I'm going to be disassembling the 900. I think you can see it sitting over on the shelf there. That's the engine that Jacob traded me for that junk 750 that came out of the little jet boat. I'm going to be taking that 900 apart today and seeing what's wrong with it and seeing if it is salvageable and if it's any good. I've got the 900 engine sitting on the bench, and I'm gonna go ahead and tear it down a little bit and see what we got going on. So this is the engine intended for the boat. Jacob decided he was okay with trading me this for that junk 700 that came out of the boat. This, Jacob tells me, is seized, so I might have just traded one piece of garbage for an even bigger piece of garbage. So, but I've been taking everything apart, got the carbs off, and I can see some rust in the carburetor areas there, at least that one especially. That would be this one here, this the rear carb. So I don't know, just looking inside, everything does kind of look a bit rusty, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove the you know what they are, the reed cages. Sort of looks like this head is barely on there. Yep, that's correct. Those are super much hand tight. So I'm going to take a look at the top of the engine as well. As you can see, the reeds are out, and all of the reeds are very rusty and nasty looking. This particular reed has a hole in it. Looks like maybe some aftermarket reeds on this. The very rusty inside. I can actually see water inside. So this engine has been sitting in water for goodness knows how long. Now I'm gonna pull the head off and look into the cylinders here. Very difficult to tell anything. These have 1.0 stamped on them, which I believe would mean this is board 1 over. Meaning 1 millimeter over. Pulled the little cover off there. I can actually see the water inside this front cover, so this entire engine is just filled with water. I'm going to attempt to dump all of the water out and get some oil in there and hopefully get this thing freed up. So the theory is that this engine is locked up because of rust in the bottom end or in one of the cylinders, which means that it could potentially be freed up and maybe run. Go ahead and pull this front cover off and see how bad it is inside. Look what came out. Ooh, nasty. Trying to get this. Ooh, man. That's really gross. There was some grease in here, so it's just like, ew. guess that's maybe sort of good. This thing needs a ton of cleaning. The Bendix is permanently engaged at this point. Probably because it's a rusted solid. Ooh, nasty. So I dumped all the water out of this thing, and now I have it filled up with oil. It's I have everything taped off, so I'm not gonna get any like bolts or pieces of metal into it. It's soaking in oil. It's not like full to the brim, but it is fairly full, maybe like up to there, higher than the rust line was on the engine. Theory being that the rust will start to give way while it's in the oil there. And the thought process for me is to let this thing sit for quite some time to give it a chance to loosen up in a way that's not going to cause more damage. I mean, I could just try to break it free right now, but I don't want anything bad to happen. So I'm just giving it kind of a chance to loosen up almost naturally, if you will. But to be perfectly honest, it doesn't look that great inside here. So, you know, I'm kind of wondering, will this work, will it not work? But you guys will have to wait until the next video where I'm actually working on this again to try to break it free. It will be later on down the line, because I'm not just going to do that tomorrow or anything like that. And it's not going to be like the next video you see. It'll just be the next video you see this in. That being said, the jet boat would be non-operational for that time, but I'm not going to just sit around with it that way. I'm going to go ahead and borrow this 750 here from Jason. This is his 750 for his 750-550 project. He said, yeah, go ahead and borrow it. This engine has been tested before, so it does run good. Theoretically doesn't have any bolts sitting in the intake manifold or exhaust manifold that will blow the engine up. Kind of a reference to what happened on the other 750 I had, but that, honestly, it may have just died of old age. Meaning that, you know, it was pretty old and it needed a rebuild, so it could have just been of sort of more or less natural causes that caused that one to blow up. The nice thing is that once I get that into the jet boat, we will be able to go run a lap time on it and see what the 750 in the jet boat can do out on the track, and actually get more of a feel for that ride plate that I made for the boat. And it'll be nice also too to have the 750 lap time so we can compare to when we get the 900 in there, to kind of get an idea of the whole weight versus power, to see what gains there are as far as lap times on the track in that regard. But make sure to support us so we can get even bigger and bring you bigger and better builds and better content. You can always grab some merch out of our merch store. We got the Etsy store, and then the Teespring store has those C-Rat t-shirts and sweatshirts if you want to grab those as well. And that's it. I'm done talking. See ya. Guys.